on today's episode of Wrong Side, episode 50. We dive into the biggest and best highlights we've had through our 1 year anniversary and 50 episodes of Wrong Side. We go over the bracket and what the tournament will look like for men's, and even what Ohio State's women's team will look like in the women's bracket. Then, clutch moment of the week sponsored by Shore Metals and Outside the Line. In a world full of champions, we find ourselves on the wrong side. Welcome back in, Wrongsiders. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Today is March 19th, and we have made it. Looking a little different today, just Jake and I. Joey had something come up, so he won't be on this episode, which is unfortunate. But episode 50, a lot of podcasts die around episode 9. That's usually where they fade out, give up, don't care enough. But we're still going, like we've been mentioning through the last year. Episode 1, 10, episode 50, we were going to be here, and we're still here. The next milestone will be 100, and that's where we're at right now. So things have been going well. Episode 50, it's crazy. It's already been a year of Wrong Side Sports. Jake's repping the merch. I'm repping Natty Champion hoodie I just got. At this point in time, the interview with Jack Settleman last week, which was a great one, came out last week. Go out and check last week's episode out if you hadn't. Great interview with Jake and Joey and him. Awesome stories. Got to hear about his company, being an entrepreneur in sports media, along with the experience of the Ohio State versus Texas game. But here we are now today, episode 50. We've made it. We're going to kind of do a little recap on the last year. Our 1 year anniversary was March 13th. So right after last episode, we hit our 1 year mark. So very exciting for us. We've got merch now. We've been to a ton of games. And we're kind of getting after it. We're still going. We love what we're doing. We're glad you guys are all listening. And here we are. So episode 50, kind of wanted to talk a little bit about everything. Some of the highlights, some of the lowlights, life, sports, what we've learned, what we haven't, and just gone from there. Joey, like I said, won't be on this episode, but Jake's going to be filling in. He's been involved from the start, so been able to help out. He's been here. So Jake, episode 50, you've definitely taken a bigger step forward in this last couple of months, helping out with busy season and Joey and I getting things done. What do you think? 1 year of Wrong Side. How have you thought it's been? Better than you've expected? Worse than you expected? Learned some things? Haven't learned some things? What do you got?
I think definitely just a mix of a lot of different things at once. I would say one thing being, at first I was just a listener and a reposter. And writing those original articles from the beginning was kind of where I started. And then being able to come on and kind of be a part of the trio between me, you, and Joey is a big step. And I've definitely learned a lot through coming on the team. I would say one thing being, I've learned how to edit a lot of TikToks and make sports edits. I've learned a lot from that. Inspiration from @ClipsEds. Shout out him.
Yeah, there we go.
And also I've learned kind of just it's a hard business. It's a hard business, and we're plugging away. And being as small of a brand as we are, we've still had some great interviews, and we've still been able to get some decently big names to come on and chat with us, not only just about their career, but about their personal life also.
Yeah, I think it's been big. We've had some big ones. We had Jake Marsh and Sam Blum, and we had Jack Settleman, people who have kind of built their resumes up already and have a good following or have good stories to tell. And then along with that, we kind of had the people we tried to target in the beginning, like Tori and yourself and Joey's sisters, and people like that are just regular kids trying to go about life, finishing college age, just trying to learn what life is like, growing up in a different time and age when we aren't in a world like our parents. We're not buying a house at 24. We're not getting married at 22 and doing those kind of things. We're doing things our way, and we're kind of talking about our experience with, obviously, along with mixing in all of our sports knowledge, but we're doing things a different way. And I think that's been great. I just looked, we're about 363 Instagram followers. So we're not Barstool yet. We're not ESPN. But those don't happen overnight. You have to grind to get there. And I definitely agree that we've learned a lot over the last year. Joey and I got into a pretty good routine. We didn't miss a lot of episodes. We were consistent. I think one thing about podcasts is if you're not consistent, they fail quickly and they just
Definitely.
don't have reach. And we've been able to still put out good content and good stories. And we've been at a lot of stuff, I think is what's pretty cool. We mentioned a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week's episode, that the one cool thing about us is even though we're small, but our group of friends, our main wrong side group, we've been in a bunch of events. We've been at the Rose Bowl. We've been at the Cotton Bowl. We've been to other big Ohio State games, the Michigan game. We were at playoff baseball games. We were at playoff basketball games. We've done a lot, and it's been a fun experience. And I think it's been something new. It broke us out of our shell a little. It allowed us to learn how to talk in front of a camera. Gave us something fun outside of work, which is what all this was about. And, it started as being on the wrong side of just, our teams aren't great, and they aren't great. But, pretty rarely, I would say a sports podcast earns a championship in the first year of creation. And for all of us to be able to share that together through Ohio State, I thought it was really cool.
No, definitely. It's a special experience because, like you said, small company, been able to go to so many big events from playoff baseball to national championship football, college football to lots of different hockey events. It's truly amazing, and obviously, I can't wait to see what we come up with in the future. What events we're going to next. Hopefully, we can try to bring on some other professional athletes. Not naming names, but maybe I can hopefully see if we can get a shout out from a certain someone on Thursday. But we're always trying to plug our brand, promote our brand in any way possible.
Yeah, I think if that worked out, obviously that'd be awesome. And I agree. Like it's from one end of the spectrum, I will say, starting in the quote unquote content game, we're not perfect at it yet. We're not ultimate at it, but we've had some big blowups. We've met Pardon My Take crew. We've met we've met Frank the Tank. We've met some Barstool people. We're slowly getting there. And I think just like anything in life, it takes time. You got to be good at it. You got to keep going for it. And I appreciate how you and Joey and myself, and even the guys that they wrote some articles or they'll help give ideas, or even people who listen, our friends and family. I appreciate everyone who does because they're taking times out of their busy day to either listen to us or like our post or interact with our content. And to me, that shows that if we're doing something like that, people are going to relate to it. And to me, I really like that. And on the topic of like guests, you're right. We have had good influencers, but we've also had Olympic athletes. We've had college national champions. We've had friends that just have cool stories. I know we're setting up some current interviews with potentially someone that used to be Brutus for the Buckeyes. So we're doing the right things. We're having cool moments, and it's been great. I think a year ago when Joey and I talked about this, even 2 years ago when we left college, it was kind of like a fun idea of maybe we can do this. But now we're about a year into the actual production of it. It's been 2 years since we graduated. And it's been great. It's allowed us to break away from work for a little, talk about and rant about our favorite sports teams, give us an outlet to just kind of spew things that aren't auditing financial statements or project managing for schools or sales or, going to accounting lectures. It's been cool things that have allowed us to be different. And I appreciate it because I don't think there's a lot of people that I think a lot of people realize that sometimes life is on the wrong side and they don't really understand and maybe think, oh, it's just them or things aren't going great. But now, like with this podcast and our outlets, I think we're hitting people and we're getting people that relate to it. And I think that's pretty cool.
No, yeah, I think it's a huge being able to have a team effort between not only our fans and like our core group of people, but also like through our fans, people tell me that like our friends of mine that listen to it, like my roommate from last year, Nick, shout out Nick, he always has given me compliments on how he likes what we're doing and kind of what we're talking about and how that I've been able to be incorporated within the company, and that it's a nice trio that we have now of core guys. So just being able to have people text me and be like, "Oh, I like what you guys are doing," or "This is a great idea," it's good to hear. It shows that some of the work that we've been putting is paying off.
I agree 100%. I think it's great to hear that because, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, and and many million times throughout the 50 episodes, like we aren't ESPN, we're not Bleacher Report, we aren't Snapback Sports, we aren't Barstool yet, but we're doing the right things. We're interviewing cool people, and I think that just any compliment makes you feel better and lets you know that okay, like I'm not doing this for nothing, and I appreciate that a lot.
No, I definitely agree. And I think even being able to see the attraction that we're getting from just the edits that I'm posting on TikTok and that we're posting on Instagram and random people. We've never met any of these people or interacted with any of these people, but they're liking the content that we're putting out and that they're interacting with it and they're giving
Right.
us comments, and we're getting people in our comment section are arguing
Beefing with each
against
other.
beefing with each other. It shows that we are doing the right things to put ourselves in a position to eventually become that company that we want it to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the right steps. It's a good 50 episodes. It's a good year one. And now we build on it. Now we try to potentially get better interviews. We've learned a little bit more about editing. Maybe try to bring more people on that can help with our content, grow that space. And I think something like that would be pretty cool. Maybe find a different sponsor. Obviously, we have Shore Metals for Clutch Moment of the Week, but maybe someone else. Maybe could sponsor an episode or use Fiverr more. Maybe go through that is definitely one goal I would like to have for this upcoming year. I will say now, like we're in year one. What's been your favorite part of the first year? Maybe an
I would
episode or a specific interview or maybe a game we all went to. Like what do you think?
I would say I would say interview. My favorite interview probably so far was, I want to say, either the Jake Marsh one because that was my idea to bring him on, um,
Mm-hmm.
or the Sam Blum one because we read so many articles by him and so many tweets from him that it was cool to
Right.
actually see you and Joey be able to interact with him. Favorite game that we've been to, probably the Rose Bowl. We were all there together. Not only did we win, but we were able to celebrate it all together, and even have people fly down for it.
Yeah. The Rose Bowl was an all-time experience. We had almost all the guys out there. I mean, yeah, you're right, we won, but it was like getting to be there. I think crushing Oregon helped because it was like a little more relief off us for stressing the game. We kind of took care of business in that first half, so it was kind of nice. And I agree, the Jake Marsh interview was great. I think one interview, I think personally, I think that I really liked Danielle's a couple weeks ago. It was one. I know it wasn't the biggest name we've ever had, but she was fantastic. I thought it was a honest and true story of someone who's our age, going through tough times, going through things, and she was honest about it. She talked about failing a little in college, growing as in a college student, what she's doing after college, winning back-to-back national titles, how the media impact of one video skewed so much, and then they came out and dominated. I think it was a very good interview, and I thought she was very well spoken. I think that was one of my favorite ones of the year. I will say, like, yeah, you're right. The Sam one, the Jake one, those are cool, and they're like bigger names. But I think an interview like that is what Wrong Side was to their core. People like us going through life, battling through things, being successful, finding positives and even negatives. And I really enjoyed that one. I think that was a great interview for us. And I think along with that, I think the things that we've done really well this year is if you go back and listen to episode one versus probably now, the length obviously of episode one was way longer than what they are now because we didn't really know how to time things out. But along with that, we've grown on how to talk. We speak better, we talk better, we're joke, we're more fluid. I think we were kind of stiff the first couple episodes, and now we're very open. We talk. Our lives are very cool. Um, and at this point in time, it's very fun. And I think it's a cool time to be doing stuff. We're great, like you said, the people beefing in the comments. That's great. I mean, we had almost 1,000 likes on one of our TikToks. I think we did a couple weeks ago for one of our Ohio State ones, which was awesome. But I think the Rose Bowl was great. I also thought, I mean, it was obviously a shitty outcome, but the Michigan game, like that was also like a fun, like the Michigan game is also kind of what Wrong Side is built on. Like your teams are always built on the wrong side, and that was live in action the wrong side. And like this was the year we were supposed to do it. And when the going got tough, that's what happened. And then when the going got tough after that game, we came out as national champions, and all of us got to enjoy that run and prove the doubters wrong after the Michigan game.
I'll add on another game that I was able to attend was it was a wrong side but a right side at the same time, was the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah,
That was some adversity on mine and Olivia's part. Getting stuck in Chicago, not knowing if we were going to make it to that game. And it was out of our hands at that point if we were going to make that 5 a.m. flight, and be able to take off to Dallas. And it seemed like we were on the wrong side at that point, but thankfully
yeah.
we got onto the right side by being able to take off and get to Dallas before game time, and then being able to just experience that. I mean, right there, being in the. I mean, I saw a tweet the other day. It was another retweet of the picture of the defense coming and running over, and it's all of us in the top of the photo. That moment is always going to be a memory that none of us ever forget, because not only what happened during that game, but what got us to that game.
Absolutely, I agree. And from Joey's end, he sent us some notes to kind of go over. What he kind of like, his were Anthony Edwards, young black icon. That's been one
That's
quote.
all.
I think that's been a top 3 quote probably. I said last week that you're giving out statues like cookies was also another quote, but the Anthony Edwards quote discussing him about that was probably pretty early into the wrong side universe was a great quote. It's definitely stuck, and that joke has lasted very long about him going to Atlanta. That was one of his best moments. Along with that, the vacation episode when Meg and I were in Hawaii and his family was in Italy. Very cool, very exciting episode. Different vibe, like talking with families. I would also agree that like the family episode's been kind of fun. And along with that, I would say the last thing he gave us was Kane. Kane was an interview fairly early on. Kane Acosta, Ashes to Amber. And now Kane's a part of every episode. Every time you hear an episode on Apple Music or on YouTube, the intro song is one of Kane's songs that we've been able to use. Along with that, when we have Clutch Moment of the Week, the sound that is played for Clutch Moment of the Week, that is made by Kane, like original sound made by Kane. So the people that have kept supporting us and done things to help grow the podcast has been fantastic. I appreciate everyone. I'm glad we're still here. I'm glad we're still doing it after 1 year. But now we're on to year 2. We're on to year 2, the next 50. What's something you looking forward to, want to happen in year 2? What's something, if you could pick something, you want a goal for year 2?
Goal for year 2. I have 2 well, one thing that I'm excited for to happen, and one thing a goal of ours is to get to 1,000 followers by the
Okay. Wow.
end of year 2.
Okay.
Goal.
It's a big goal.
I would say something excited for is, I'm gonna say 2 things. One, being that first OSU game at home against Texas next year.
Okay.
I feel that we can hopefully try to get all 3 of us on the ground. I know TBD based on certain circumstances, but hopefully that can come into play. And I would say technically, because it's part of year 2, is me getting to work for the 3M Open this summer and being able to do the podcast during that week. So that'll be kind of pretty enjoyable too.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have an internship this upcoming summer at the 3M Open in Minnesota, which is a great experience. I think that's going to be cool. Good stories that'll be able to be told for that. Along with that, and upcoming in year 2, Joey and Maddie will be moving in together, which he's talked about, which is exciting. Meg and I are going to be moving in together, which is exciting. Meg will be going through match day this upcoming week. You won't give any updates this week, obviously, because by the time this comes out, it won't be the end of match week. So probably episode 51 next week will be talked about it. But a lot of fun things, a lot of change happening. How will we continue to grow? I love the goal of 1,000. I think that's a good goal. It's a big goal, but I really enjoy that goal. And along with that, I think something for me that I'm looking forward to, I want to get more interviews. I would like to get more athletes. It doesn't matter the level. I think that would be very cool. I think that we should get more friends on, like our friend who is Brutus, like our friend who works for Nike. Just everyday people, I think also is just as valuable as it is. And I think that's one thing that would really help us grow.
No, yeah, I can agree with that. I got a text the other day from Ken. Ken said he wants to come on and talk sports with us.
Okay, that would be a cool, and see, like that kind of stuff is great because it allows us to grow our network, get people on, do things like that. And I think that'd be very fun. So that'd be very cool. My last question for goal of the year is I guess 2 more questions. One, what's one thing you want to improve on from our first year? And second goal, or second question, what's one interview? Like, doesn't have to be a crazy one. Like, we're probably not getting Derek Jeter, obviously, but who's one person you would love to get?
I would say one thing, not only I would say one thing from like a personal level while coming on the like for the podcast is like for myself is to stop saying 100% every time we're on the podcast.
Okay. Okay, that's a
Um,
good one.
but also just kind of just continuing to build our brand and spread kind of what we stand for throughout all of our communities and people that we hang out with and stuff. And then I would say one interview that would be awesome to get. Obviously, I tried in the winter time to get him to come on before the season, but it was kind of tough. But hope if we could get Jace Laviolette from Texas A&M top 5 pick coming into the draft would be cool.
That would be a cool one. I would really like that one. Yeah, I think
I think also.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
One
No, go
other
ahead.
person who we should also have on, because not only is he a good dude in general and great story, is a good friend of yours that you played sports with when you were younger is Kyle Ford.
I think Kyle would be a great story. Kyle's a great interview, battled through a lot of adversity for college, had a great last season. Really rooting for him, hoping he gets drafted this year. I think that would be a very cool experience. I agree. That'd be a very cool interview.
I would
For
also like to
me,
say that hit power couple, him and Maya Brady power couple.
That is true. For me, I think one goal for year two, I definitely would like to be better in the content game. I would love for us to post a little more, use Instagram more polls. I think when we used to post the things that were interactive, like, hey, what do you think about this or that? People would respond. That's a good way to grow your brand. I would love for us to potentially find some ways to become part of the media in a landscape. Obviously, like I said, we're not ESPN, but finding a way to maybe just go around Angel Stadium and asking questions, or standing out by where the players come in, or finding people just to like talk about on campus or in Chicago or in California or in X city, wherever I move. I think that would be a cool way to keep growing the brand and allow us to do stuff like that. And then for guests, Kyle would be a good one. I would love to get AK this year. Maybe we can get him this year, maybe.
Hopefully.
Along with AK, I would love to potentially get someone from Ohio State, like an athlete on the team, talk about stuff like that. Maybe even Braden, just someone who can give cool stories, stuff like that. And just go from there. I think just keep going. Like any name is great for us. We'll take anybody, but I would love to get a little more pro athletes. I would love to get some influencers on, just different vibes. I think different vibes would be cool.
I couldn't agree more. Just being able to just bring more people on, and being able to like we were in the beginning, like I was putting out there. Maybe we put out some more polls and this or that type stuff, or like even like we could throw in our story like, hey, who should we interview, and then they could slide up.
Yeah,
and we could reach out to those people.
Like, what do fans want to hear exactly?
Yeah, what do fans want to hear? I mean, another idea. Obviously, we'd have to possibly fool around with a different platform, possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
But adding in those, adding in a head-to-head game of you and Joey, or me and you, or some sort of trivia, something to not only, or even like another fun thing we could do, and it would be hard, it would be tough, we can try it, is we could live stream one episode and see if we can get some interaction.
I know, we've talked about that before. Yeah, we have talked about that before. So I agree. All fantastic ideas, all very exciting. We're 1 year down, 50 episodes in. The next 50 are going to be even better in year two, and I'm excited for it. We're missing Joey today. We'll talk about him a little later in this episode, but episode 50, congratulations to everyone who's been here. If you're still listening, we appreciate you. If you're just joining us, we appreciate you. If you want to tell more people about us, we appreciate you. But we're 50 episodes in. Go ahead. You have something to say?
Oh, one of our wrong side listeners. Congratulations, Anthony.
Yes, Anthony Reitnauer. That's great. Yes, I was going to talk about that later as well. But number 50, love doing this. We're happy, and we're moving on now. 50's closed. We're moving on to the next 50, and we're back to reality. Next thing we're going to get into right now is the bracket, and right now we're recording this. The bracket's not out, so we're going to kick it to ourselves now live and check in on how the bracket's going to shake out and our predictions for the tournament. So we're going to go there now.
The bracket is out for the men's tournament. Michael, who we got coming out of the South?
Well, brackets out, Selection Sunday. Rest in peace to the Gumbel brother, Greg Gumbel. Different year without him, so bummer he's not with us anymore. He was a staple of Selection Sunday, but not with us anymore. We missed him going through the bracket today. We're gonna miss him this tournament. So one member of the media that will be not there this year. But starting with the South region, Auburn, they're the number 1 seed in the tournament. What a bracket it looks like this year. Some good games in this bracket. I think Auburn is the one, and they should win the first one. Some upsets that look like to me. I think a lot of people are going to pick Yale to beat Texas A&M. Yale has won a game in past years. I think they beat Arizona last year, so that was a game they won. And along with that, I'm picking it, don't care, UC San Diego beating Michigan in the first round. I don't care. They think they got screwed. I don't believe it. Whatever. They got to win games. Let's see if they can win it. But UC San Diego, they're hot. They won the Big West. They're going to be my pick to win that game. Other teams in that game, the North Carolina inclusion in this tournament is disgusting. It's brand bias. Similar to Michigan's AD being the head of the college football committee, the chair of the NCAA tournament is the AD from North Carolina. So maybe he had some input there. So they'll be in the final. They'll be in the first 4 game against San Diego State. So I don't think either team will beat Ole Miss, but that's where they're at. Along with that, I think this might be a chance for Michigan State to win a game or two. But my pick, looking at it first glance, we're recording this live to come out of it. The Elite 8 matchup is going to be, in my opinion, I think it's going to be Creighton versus Michigan State. You know what? No. You know what? I take that back. It's going to be Creighton versus Iowa State in the Elite 8, and I think Iowa State gets out of this side of the bracket. How about you?
I like that. I like Iowa State's team, and I think they've been playing some great basketball this year. That's who I was going to pick. I was going to pick Iowa State versus, you know what? Hot take. You can put me on the record for this. I'm going to go Iowa State versus UC San Diego.
Whoa! What a run that would be for UC San Diego. So you think no 1 or 2 coming out of this bracket?
No 1 or 2. I mean, 1 or 2 are very few and far between usually to come out of their area, closer towards the Elite 8 Final Four. So I got Auburn not making it that far, and Michigan State not going that far either.
Wow. Okay, love it. Now we're going to head down to the West region. Florida, the number 1 seed of this region. What are we thinking? What are your first thoughts looking at it?
In the West region, I'll give you my first Elite 8 team right now. I'm going to take the Mafia man himself, the St. John's. St. John
Red Storm.
They're going to go deep. They're going to go deep in this playoff run. I think stat for you on St. John's Red Storm. Read it to you earlier, but I'll read it again. In year 1, Rick Pitino went 20-13 with the Red Storm. This year he is 30-4 in year 2. Wow. So if that doesn't tell you that he's going to go deep in the playoff run, I don't know what is. I got them playing well. Another team that I think is going to do well in that West region, and I hope does because of who coaches it, I'm rooting for the Memphis Tigers and Anthony Penny Hardaway.
I know Penny's one of your boys. You do like him. You think they'll make it to the Elite 8, or you'll just think they might win a game or 2?
I think they're just going to win a game or 2, but I'm rooting for them. But I think that who I do think is going to make the Elite 8, based off of just the energy he brought that I saw on Twitter the other day, I still think UConn's going to
really
squeak their way in there. He's
wow.
He's magical in the playoffs. I think that the odds have shifted away from him, and that all the pressure is not on him. I think the pressure in this West region is on Florida and on St. John's, so the spotlight's kind of away from them. So I think they'll be able to win a few games.
Okay.
And
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, this, in my opinion, is one of the tougher regions. I think it's probably the toughest region on the tournament. Region of death. A lot of big games in it. I think the game to watch will be Kansas KU versus Arkansas. Cal versus Bill Self. Going to be a great game, and the winner of that game, most likely, I agree. I have St. John's going far, but I think the winner of that game versus St. John's, that's going to be an exciting game. I think my upset for this region is going to be Grand Canyon beating
Damn it, you took
Maryland
it
in
from
the
me. That was going to be mine.
first round. But along with that, I do think UConn wins a game, but I don't think they go far. I think they have the ability to win a game, but I don't think they can beat Florida in the next round. Surprisingly enough, this is very chalk. But in my opinion, I think it's going to be Florida versus St. John's in this Elite Eight.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. But I'll give you my upset of this side of the bracket.
Okay.
I'll give you my upset of this side of the bracket is going to be Coach Cal. Arkansas over Kansas, and you know what? I'll even say you took my Grand Canyon over Maryland. So
Yeah.
those two.
No, I think Grand Canyon, they're playing good basketball. They're playing well. They won the WAC. It's going to be very interesting to see who wins this side. This is one of the toughest regions, like I said, and I'm very excited to see how it plays out. So St. John's, they're playing the Omaha Trash Cans in the first one. I would love to see Pitino go far. Rick Pitino, fifth team he's taken to a title for the conference, fifth conference title with fifth team. Very impressive, very cool, and very, very exciting. So I hope St. John's does have a chance to go far. When they're good in the city, New York is buzzing. To the East region we go. Duke, their region. What do we got?
Duke, I have them losing in the Elite Eight.
Okay. Two.
To the Elite Eight, I have them losing to Arizona.
Whoa. Okay. Arizona goes far. No, I don't think. Wait. I don't think that's possible. They can
Is
play
that
in the
not
Sweet
possible?
16. Sweet 16, they'll play. So who do you
Okay,
think
I am beating them in the Sweets. Sorry, scratch that off the record. Arizona beating Duke, Sweet 16.
Okay. And then who? Okay. So for me in this bracket, looks exciting. I think Oregon is one of the good teams in this bracket. They play hard. They do the right things, and I'm very excited to see how Dana Altman coaches the team. He's very successful. He's done very well in this tournament in past years. I think they have a good shot to win a couple games. Along with that, I know Cooper Flag is coming back for Duke. They definitely are the team to beat. The craziest stat I saw last week was that 42% of the odds, 42% of the money is on Duke and Auburn, Duke or Auburn to win the tournament versus the field. A very big discrepancy versus other years. Yeah, there usually is one team, but two teams versus the field is a crazy bet. I think Oregon, though, will win a couple games. I don't know. I think Arizona does beat Akron in the first round, but I also really think BYU, they're playing some great basketball. I could see BYU winning a couple games. I'm looking at it now. Mark Sears and Oates at Alabama, they'll win a couple games. This is a very interesting bracket. You see St. Mary's, they won their conference. Usually it's Gonzaga in this spot, but they usually are in it. So for me, looking at this bracket now, I'm actually going to say that Duke is going to play BYU in the Elite Eight.
Okay. Duke. Okay, so if I'll give you Arizona versus.
So Duke, you had them beating Duke.
Yeah, Arizona versus. I'm gonna go Wisconsin.
Are they in this? Oh, they are in this. Wisconsin is a good team. Okay, that's a good pick. I enjoy that. That's a good one. What's your upset of this side of the bracket?
Honestly, I think Robert Morris over Alabama. This gives me Oral Roberts versus Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah, this one, don't see many upsets in my opinion coming out of this one, but if I were to pick a higher seed versus lower seed game, I think Baylor's going to beat Mississippi State. I'd be very interested to see how Mississippi State plays in this game, but I think Baylor will win this game and they will take care of business. Wrapping up now with the Midwest region, Houston's region. What do you got?
Houston region. Gonzaga versus Georgia. I feel like that could be kind of a slugfest.
Okay.
Two big programs. I think that it is going to be in the Elite Eight. Let me do this for a second. I'm going to say I'm gonna go Purdue versus Tennessee.
Ooh. Wait. Purdue versus Tennessee. Okay. Okay, that's an interesting pick. For me in this region, I think we're going to see a lot of upsets. I think High Point will beat Purdue, and I think
Well,
actually
that'll hurt my pick.
McNeese is going to beat Clemson. I think we're going to get a High Point versus McNeese. We're going to get McNeese, the
Mm.
student manager story, first NIL student manager. I don't know if did you see that story?
I did. I like that story.
So very cool story to see. Amir Khan, the student manager, he's got 3 new NIL deals. First student manager, he's been a great vibe. I think they're a great story built for March. So I think it's going to be McNeese and High Point, 2 major upsets. And looking at this bracket, I think we actually might get in this bracket. Let me see. Houston, Gonzaga, I think we're gonna get Houston versus Illinois in the Elite Eight.
Okay.
These
Houston
are
versus
all,
Illinois.
and for everyone listening, these are all quick reactions. Really haven't, the bracket was just announced. We're recording it right after they announced all the brackets. So we're looking at it. Not too much deep diving. Jake and I could look like fools at the end of this. But these are our quick reactions right away, live reaction of the bracket.
Give me your on the first 4 in for those first 4 games. Who you
Okay,
got?
who do I have winning? Okay, let me see. So we have I'm gonna take St. Francis. I'm gonna take San Diego State. What else we got? Texas and Mount St. Mary's.
Okay, I have a couple different ones.
Okay.
I have St. Francis, yes, and San Diego State also yes. But I'm gonna flip flop with you, and I'm gonna take Xavier.
Okay.
And American.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna be good games. Ohio State was first 4 out. Pretty pathetic finish to the end of their season. They didn't deserve to be in, so really didn't matter to me. I was okay with them not making it. When you lose to Northwestern Iowa the way they did, pathetic way to end the season. We'll see. I think they're probably going to bring Diebler back for year 2, but they won't be in the tournament. We'll see if they decline their NIT bid and go to the Crown. But as of right now, they're not in. Year 3 in a row, no Ohio State in the tournament. Pretty pathetic. But the bracket's out now. We won't be able to get to the women's bracket because that'll be announced tomorrow. Maybe we jump in to record, but potentially not. Other than that, what's one prediction for this tournament? Doesn't have to be a winner. Can be anything crazy. What do you got?
For the men's tournament?
For the men's tournament, yep.
I would say my one take for the men's tournament, and I could be very off by this, depending on how the rest of the NBA season goes. But depending on who's on that draft, those first 3 picks in the NBA draft, if Duke loses anywhere before the Elite Eight, Cooper Flagg will be coming back for another year.
Whoa. Okay, that's a good hot take. That'll definitely spark some controversy. Yeah, I have seen the rumors. I don't think he will, in my opinion, based off the injury he sustained in the ACC tournament, because his mind might be that we're not coming back to get hurt. But I love that take. I think it's very interesting. I think he's mentioned before he would love to come back if it wasn't a business. So I really enjoy that take. My take is that 14 SEC teams are in the tournament.
Yes,
and I'm going to say that. I'm just trying to review the picks I made. I'm going to say that none will be in the Final Four.
I agree.
None will be in the Final Four. No SEC teams in the Final Four with 14 in the tournament, which is, let me give you the correct number, 22%, 21.8% of the bracket is the SEC, and I'm saying that none of them will be in the Final Four.
Wow.
So that's my hot take for the tournament. How about anything else for the tournament?
Yeah, I have one more stat, I think.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here's my stat. I was thinking about it actually right now. The last time a team has three-peated in the NCAA was 1969 was the UCLA Bruins.
I think that'll continue. I think that will continue. I do not think UConn makes it back. I know you have them picked out of the Elite Eight. I think they are not going to make it far, but we will see. So bracket is out. Reed, go ahead, fill out as many as you want. Maybe we run
enter the competitions.
Enter the competitions with celebrities. Maybe Warren Buffett will hand out $1 million this year. Maybe we run a wrong side competition for a prize of some sort in the next week if people enter. So maybe we do that. Other than that, though, brackets out. Women's bracket will be tomorrow. Ohio State will be in. Don't know who they're playing yet, but will be exciting to see. Brackets out. A lot of stars to watch. Rothstein, Fanta, Patino, Calipari, all of the big names of college basketball are in it now. Exciting to see what happens. Thursday, we're going to be starting. We got the last 4 in games coming up on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure. Thursday, games will start, and Friday is also the second half of the round of 64. So great content coming our way. A lot of basketball coming our way. March Madness is here. It's March. We'll sleep in May. Very excited. Now we're going to kick it to ourselves and our ad read and clutch moment of the week. Now, time for Clutch Moment of the Week, sponsored by Shore Metals. Big enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Serving Southern California since 1970. See Stan, he'll help you out. Jake, who's your Clutch Moment of the Week?
My clutch moment of the week goes out to Mother Nature for holding out and not raining too much. There was a light drizzle while I was at Disneyland on Tuesday, but it was perfect. We were able to get on a bunch of rides. It was still packed, but still enough to get us through our whole day without getting us too wet.
So you and Olivia went to Disneyland. That's
Correct.
Great, Mother Nature, because I did see the weather forecast for that day. It looked like it was supposed to dump, so fantastic that it didn't. What was your favorite ride of the day, and what was her favorite ride of the day, since she's never been to Disneyland?
Her favorite ride of the day was Space Mountain and the new Tiana,
okay,
aka Splash Mountain.
Okay.
My favorite ride of the day, getting to see her face while we were on Incredicoaster was just awesome because she's not a big fan of going upside down, so that was funny to see.
Very cool. And what were the snacks? You guys snack at all or no?
It was quite a list. If you really want to know what we had, I wrote
What was
the
best thing? Best thing you had? Best thing she had?
Best thing I had? Oh, I mean, how could you go wrong with a turkey leg?
That's a classic. Okay.
From the Poultry Palace in California Adventure.
Fantastic.
I think hers was probably the beignets we had from Tiana's Cafe.
Very cool. Yeah, great time. That's great. I'm glad you guys had a good week. That's a fun time. And now you're back at school. She worked. Good. Was it a good week overall with her visiting?
It was a great week overall, I think.
What's best part of the week? Was it Disneyland or something else?
I would say Disneyland, or honestly, when we went down to LA, it was a great time.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Yeah, it was a good week. Actually, weather was much better than I thought it was going to be, so that helped, and that's great. And everyone's back home safe now, and C-Bus, maybe a little tuna visit tomorrow for St. Patty's Day, so we'll have to see.
We'll be there. Don't worry.
For me,
free t-shirt.
Oh, got to be there. Clutch moment of the week for me is actually going to go out to a Lake Zurich native, and surprisingly enough, I'm not giving the credit to Jerry Jones, but I'll give him, I guess, the clutch moment of the week technically would go out to him. Clutch moment of the week, though, Lake Zurich native goes from one wrong side team to another. The Bears, he's no longer on the Bears. The Cowboys just signed him last week to a 1-year deal. Linebacker, played great in Chicago. Very excited for him to be on the Cowboys. This is one of the free agent signings I've really agreed with this offseason. We're obviously going to talk more football in a couple weeks when we get closer to the draft. But right now, awesome for Sanborn. Glad he's going to be there. I'm pretty excited that we're getting a wrong side Lake Zurich favorite in Dallas.
Okay, that's great to hear. Finally a signing from the Cowboys.
Yeah, signing, not a punter or the long snapper or former first rounders, but Sanborn, Cowboy, very excited for him. Glad I know a lot about him. I've watched a lot of his game through Joey, So very excited. So clutch moment of the week goes out to Jack Sanborn and Jerry Jones. Oh, go ahead.
And maybe since through Joey, maybe we get him on the podcast.
I would love to. Yeah, you know what? Jack Sanborn would be one guy I would love to get on. We've tried reaching out once. We should definitely try to reach out again. I would love to get Sanborn on. But clutch moment of the week goes out to Jack Sanborn and the Dallas Cowboys and Mother Nature at Disneyland. Now, wrapping up with Outside the Line. Okay.
Wrapping up with Outside the Lines, we're starting off with everybody's favorite tone deaf person of the week. Michael, who you got?
It was a rough week for Southwest. They announced that no more free bags starting May 28th. So no free 2 bags. Bad. I almost want to say that's part of the tone deaf. It is. Southwest is probably the overarching tone deaf of that happening. Then they doubled down on it in their Instagram post and said, it's not like we traded Luca away. So a jab to Dallas.
I saw
but
that.
The tone deaf person of the week to me is the person that was on my flight from Long Beach to St. Louis. The year is 2025. This woman is staying there. And, Long Beach, you enter from both sides.
Both sides.
That's what she said. But you enter from both sides. And we enter from the back. I enter from the back. This woman entered from the front. And
pause.
She's standing in the middle of the plane like, oh, I would like to get back there to the back. And she's holding – the whole plane is ready to go except for the last 10 people boarding in the back. And this girl in the middle. The flight is not full. A lot of empty seats. I'm like, you can sit anywhere, right? And she's like, you can? Didn't know it was open seating. So where the hell were you trying to go that like you were like, oh, I'm 10 rows back. How are you 10 rows back if you don't have a seat? How do you know that? So year's 2025, don't know it's open seating in the Fight West. You're holding up boarding, holding off takeoff, and Southwest 2 bags. Just a terrible week of Southwest. So tone deaf was that woman, though, for not understanding that, oh, wait, it's open seating? Dumb.
That's pretty bad. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, unbelievable. And actually the travel wasn't bad. The WashU tennis team was on my flight, so that was very interesting. But other than that, it was a fairly simple flight, easy flight. Nobody was very tone deaf in the airport, other than this woman on the plane. Other than that in the plane. And, of course, the people standing in row 25 when the plane landed, of course. And, sit the hell down. So that was my tone deaf person of the week. How about yourself?
My tone deaf person of the week is going to go to the 2 random little kids who had Spilkus and wouldn't stop running around the gate area that we were waiting at. They wouldn't stop talking. Literally from the moment they sat down at the gate.
This is on the way back to Columbus?
In Dallas, on the way back to Columbus. We're waiting at the gate. We're already delayed, so I'm already annoyed. I'm trying to do homework. And I'm letting my headphones charge because they're dead, so I can't
of course,
lock in. And these 2 random little kids, from the moment they sat down till they got on the plane, wouldn't stop talking and running around. It was pissing me off.
Wow.
They're like one of the little girls is like trying to make faces at me while I'm doing homework.
Oh my god!
I wanted to say, well, you 2 just shut it for 2 seconds.
That's hysterical. Yeah, no, that.
So, tone deaf person
that's
of the week
bad.
is
And
2 little children.
What were the parents doing when that was going on?
It wasn't parents. It was grandma. Grandma was on her phone.
Oh, no. Oh, it's bad. It's dead. So, okay, that's very tone deaf. Very tone deaf.
Spilkusy children is tone deaf.
Spilkusy children. I appreciate that one. That's a good one. Okay. Right and wrong side. What do you got?
Wrong side is going to be delayed in Dallas with the Spilkusy children.
Okay. You got to give us something else, though. Give us a different wrong side.
Wrong side.
First day of school tomorrow?
First day of school tomorrow, but only one class. Only one class. Shout out Mark Smith. No 8 a.m. lecture tomorrow.
Wow. Big St. Patty's Day fan.
But Joseph Irvine, not big St. Patty's Day fan because he's going to come to class still. Business law for those listeners. No, I'll give you my wrong side. There was 5 minutes left of boarding on my first flight from California to Dallas.
Okay.
First flight. 5 minutes left of boarding. I'm sitting there. Nobody's in my row. I started counting my eggs before they hatched.
Oh.
Right before, 2 minutes left, and 2 people come into my row. It was disastrous. It's
That's the
disastrous.
worst. Right at the last second is the worst because you like you said, yeah, count your eggs too early. You think it's gonna be fine. It's not. Just a terrible start to the day of the trip. I understand that one. Okay,
Terrible.
that is a good wrong side and right side.
Right side, I ordered a few new jerseys off DHgate. That's my right side. So I'll be ready to go
Yes.
for next Seahawk and Buckeye season.
So what'd you order for yourself? I know I was a part of it as well, but what was your order?
For myself, starting off, I have been on the very wrong side of the Seattle Seahawk jerseys. Even though they were, from DHgate. I had a Russell Wilson, a Bobby Wagner, a DK Metcalf. Pretty wrong side if you ask me.
Lockett?
Even though I did not have Lockett, so thank God. So playing it safe, I went with just the normal navy blue, 12th fan
Okay.
jersey. No more player. Maybe if he starts off well, I'll buy a Cooper Cup jersey, but we'll see.
Okay. No Darnold.
No Darnold. I put Darnold over the Metcalf jersey on
Okay.
paper from
Yep.
last week's
Right.
episode.
Right.
And then I also got the national championship JJ jersey.
Oh, okay, that's a good one too. That is a good one. Yeah, I got the yellow Luca on the Lakers. I got Cotton Bowl Jack Sawyer and Rose Bowl JJ. Can't wait for them. Needed first New Jersey, second, third Ohio State jersey I've ever had. First one, I've only had one my whole life. It's the Zeke one since my freshman year. It's the only jersey I've ever had. So excited to get some new ones. For me, wrong and right side. Wrong side actually is going out to our man Joey Z. Rough week for him. The reason he's not in the episode is he actually had to go to the hospital this week. A little health scare. Passed out. Next week, and you'll see him. Hopefully, he's all healed up, but his face is a little scratched up. He's doing okay now, but it was a little scary for our man. He got a little. Something happened, and he got it fixed up. He had a procedure on Friday. Got it all handled with some blood work. All set now, but wrong side, definitely Joey not being a part of episode 50. So that's a bummer. Kind of stinks. And right side, so also let's pause for a second. Shout out to Joey. Hope everything's going well. Unable to film this week, but he'll be back next week. Excited to have him back. Hopefully he's doing well. But yes, scary moment. He'll talk more about it next week. Definitely on the low ends of the top 50 episodes. Wrong side. And of Joey being sick and what happened. Right side, though, back in St. Louis this week. Big week, match week. Gonna be pretty fun. We're recording this right now on Sunday, so tomorrow will be match day, and next week Friday will be match day.
How are the vibes in Camp Halloran?
Vibes in Camp Halloran. She's currently watching TV. She's doing well, better than I thought. She's getting a little nervous. She's over there doing her I don't know, TikTok maybe she's on, but she's watching TV. She's on Camp Halloran. Camp Halloran's doing well over here.
Any pre opening of the email rituals gonna happen tomorrow, or is there gonna be are you watching Miracle tonight to get good vibes or anything good?
So I'm letting her pick. Let her pick dinner tonight? We're getting whatever she wants. I think we're gonna do a smorgasbord of dinner. Like stop at a couple places and get a couple things.
Little mukbang action. Very nice.
Yep. Get some things that she likes. And tomorrow, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be tonight. I wonder how much she'll sleep. If she needs a movie to pump her up. I know a lot. Rocky.
I'm
Miracle.
more of a Rocky Miracle guy myself.
We get all the good ones.
Maybe
but she's currently
Maybe she'll watch The Dozen tonight, calm herself down.
Oh, maybe. Who's playing Dozen tonight?
It's the Yak versus the Grinders.
Oh, that's a good team. So, yeah, we'll see what we're doing tonight. Definitely going to try to just chill out, maybe watch something funny or maybe watch something that just takes your mind off of it this week. But I would say she's doing pretty solid right now. Vibes are good in Camp Halloran. The recruiting time is coming to an end. And decision day is upon us. So we'll see next episode. We'll know by next episode. I'm not giving anything extra away this week because I don't really know everything by the time we're recording. But going to be very, very exciting next week.
And then you as the, we'll call it the recruiting manager. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm just trying to keep vibes high. Trying to keep vibes high here. Just trying to stay positive. Don't superstitious. Don't say anything negative. We want to stay hyped. We want to stay level headed, keeping everything good. I think that's what we're trying to do.
I guess there's no other way to put it that for sure.
Exactly. But that's where we're at. Thank you guys for listening. Happy episode 50. We really appreciate you guys staying this long around with us. We hope the next 50 are even better. Next week, big episode. We'll be talking a lot of match day recap. We'll be talking Joey coming back from his procedure. We'll be talking March Madness. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's March Madness bracket talk and the highlights of the top 50 episodes. But we're really excited to be still doing this. We appreciate you guys listening. And thank you guys for listening. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Ooh, the dozen's on in an
Jake.
hour.
Jake.
Oh, sorry. Oh, stay blessed. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do it again. So I said we'll talk to you next week. Then you have to say it.
Stay blessed.